All right. How's it going so far today? Good presentations?
Yeah. Been fun.
Cool. Has anyone here checked a deck before in an actual event? Couple, about 50-50. Looks like, all right. So, who can tell me what a deck check is?
Like, on a philosophical level?
Sure.
So, we are confirming the legality of a person's deck after they've presented it to begin their match.
Okay. Logistically correct.
A deterrent to cheating.
A deterrent to cheating. Is it to catch cheaters or deter cheaters? What do you think? That is a philosophical question.
I would think it's probably
A bit of both.
A little bit of both. But it's a show of force in the. We are doing deck checks to players. Yep.
You're doing deck checks to players.
To ensure and show other players that, like, hey, you can deck check anyone. EDU.
Could happen at any time.
Okay, so we're deterring cheaters.
An attempt to deter the cheaters.
How are we doing that? Like, what's the deterrent?
Showing that we are verifying that their deck matches the contents of their list.
And why is that important?
For integrity of the event.
And yeah, okay, so the rules say so. We want to make sure that people aren't cheating. What is the penalty for, so we're going to discuss primarily 2 infractions today. Used to be 1, now they're 2. Makes a little more logistic sense. Deck problem and deck list problem. But that doesn't mean that's the only thing you're looking for when you're checking a deck. So who can tell me what deck problem is? Real quick, just summary level.
If there's a problem with something in the deck.
Yeah. What's a deck list problem?
Problem with the list.
Problem with the list.
Yep.
Easy enough.
Got there.
Huzzah!
So that's something you'll find yourself asking as you're going, okay, well, this isn't right. Things aren't matching. Which one's wrong? And that's the infraction you're looking at. Now, when I first pick up a deck, what I like to do is check for something that is neither of those. I look for marked cards because when you pick up a deck, you are seeing it in its truest form as it was presented by a player to their opponent. Pick it up. That is the deck in the exact configuration that the player who owns the deck said, this is completely legitimate, it's randomized, no position is known to myself or my opponent as far as I know, and we're good to play on the level, as Brian pointed out, Magic with integrity. We're going to play the game the way the rules say. Jesse, can you describe your technique for getting a deck from a player, or decks from players, where you're going to deck check somebody?
Sure. After players have shuffled and passed their decks to their opponent to get them to cut the deck, that's the sweet spot when you want to swoop. And that's how a lot of people call getting the decks from the players, is swooping. And you're gonna step in, let the players know that you're performing a deck check on their decks.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna let them know that you will be giving them a time extension and that you will be right back. Take their decks with their match slip and hopefully get one of their names to match to one of the decks, so you know, this is Dave's and the other one is whoever the other person on the other slip is.
Okay.
And then you
Just the decks, anything else?
and
Match
match
slip.
slip decks in the deck box.
Deck box, why is the deck box important?
Because they could be having, you want to make sure that their sideboard's there to
Mm-hmm.
check their sideboard, make sure they don't have any other cards in their deck box
Mhm.
that they are like theoretically swiping in to.
It's the stuff they've got on the table that they have ready access to. And typically that's where the sideboard's going to be anyway. There's this wonderful line in the tournament rules that say, when you present your deck to your opponent, you present your deck and your sideboard. Sideboard there so your opponent can count it. Nobody does that in the United States. It's in the rules. It's kind of one of those salutary neglect items. Like, it doesn't matter, not really, but typically you're going to find the sideboard in the box. So grab the box, you're going to find all the other goodies they've got laying around, their sideboard, and it helps to keep it all together. Fair enough. When you're swooping, that's the term you'll hear a lot if you're not familiar with it, the swoop. I will show you why it's called a swoop. Because let's say I know we're going to grab Jesse's match here. If I'm standing here waiting for them to present their decks, that is going to discourage any behavior we might otherwise want to catch them doing. So I'll stand over here by Rob, Cody, kind of like him. Hey, how's it going? Just walking, keeping an eye over there. Waiting for those decks to be presented. If it's obvious that I'm standing over there, I might not catch them in a very natural state when they are compromising the integrity of the event. Now, like I said, we're not really doing this to catch cheaters. We're doing it, as he pointed out, to discourage cheaters. Or I'm sorry, as Brian pointed out, to discourage cheaters. That's true. Most of the infractions you're going to give feel pretty bad. Because what's the penalty for a deck list problem, say? A clerical error, a transposition error. Whoops, I wrote 1 instead of 2.
Game loss.
Game loss. That's pretty severe. Would you agree? Because most other things like I blew out a sleeve and didn't worry about it and just kept going. Smart cards, maybe a warning. Most of the things that we really handle at competitive REL events are warnings, unless they're really, really severe. This is a paperwork error. Pretty severe penalty to discourage bad behavior. That's why. Now, what I have here, 5 scenarios. The piece of paper that has the scenario number in the plastic sleeve facing up is going to tell you who you are, where you're at. All these events are at competitive REL. How do you feel, Spencer, about deck checks at regular REL?
I don't feel about them.
I feel like if you are requiring deck checks at regular REL, that is a very good sign that you should be running your event at competitive REL. Regular REL, we apply the JAR, or Judging at Regular Rules Enforcement Level document. It's 2 pages, gives us a lot of leeway to sort of fix things with the guidance of we're here to have fun and we're here to learn. If we're doing something that has a lot of paperwork involved, probably means that it's a more competitive event. The prize structure might be a lot bigger, which is going to encourage otherwise good people to make poor choices. So if we want to treat the event seriously, let's run it at competitive REL, because when we do that, policy says we get to apply the IPG, or the Infraction Procedure Guide. That gives us the tools to protect the integrity of our event when players may be encouraged to make poor choices. So, all these scenarios are at competitive REL. If you can, let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So we've got 8 people. If you can find a partner, we're going to be going through these in teams of 2. This is a very important aspect of doing deck checks. Just like we've talked about it in a lot of these different presentations today, we're here to support each other. If you're on a deck checks team for a larger event, you're likely going to have a partner. And that's a good person to ask questions. Look at this sleeve, what do you think of that? Or, geez, what's the policy on this thing with this? I think it changed recently. Or, hey, this stuff's in the deck box. What do you think about that? You as your partner, they're there to ask questions. You should not feel bad about this as well. Each scenario has 2 identical decks. So for example, scenario 2, these decks are the same. And the deck lists that go with them, they're also the same. So as you're checking your deck, focus on how you take that deck apart. There's a couple of different ways to go about it. Everybody's got their methodology that they like. Some people like to just count the list first. If they're sorting the deck, piles of lands, creatures, and non-creature spells, or some people will just sort it all out, piles of every individual thing. With limited, you may find it easier to sort by color. I am kind to you today. The 2 limited scenarios we have, they are not multi-set limited formats. There's an Amonkhet limited and there's a Dominaria limited. Otherwise, you would have 2 separate sheets for one deck, and you'd have to sort by set them by color. And the idea here, for as far as logistics are concerned, is that we are performing this check in about 5 to 6 minutes. because this is going to cause our round potentially to run over, delaying the entire event, and they add up. Round 1, round 2, round 3, we're doing these checks. That could, after a 5-6 round event, that could add almost another hour to the event. That's wait time for your players. You just want to keep it moving. You want to keep the players doing the thing that they came here to do, which is playing Magic. Now, I'm going to give everybody about 8 or 9 minutes per round to really focus on your technique, see what works, see what feels good, see what doesn't, and have some good, thoughtful discussion on these things. I do ask that you try your best to return the decks you've got to the format in which you found them. You will find some potentially weird things if you can just get them back in the configuration you found them for the next group. That would be very, very helpful. If you have questions beyond you and your partner's discussion, I'll be walking around, just flag me, I'll come over. So we're going to run through these scenarios, and then we'll have a discussion on some stuff you guys found at the end, and discuss why infractions fit or don't fit, and what the penalties are for those infractions. And any other questions you may have. Some of the more nuanced bits of running these events yourself, running with a partner, big events, little events. We're here to learn. So with that being said, Brian, who are you going to work with? Steve, you're cool. Spencer, are you okay working with?
I'm with whoever.
Down here. Looks like we got a spot right here. Great. All right. One last question regarding timing. Let's say we note the time we took the deck, we perform our checks, everything checks out, decks go back. It took 6 minutes. What is the time extension we're giving to that table?
Obviously 6 minutes.
Get out of my classroom. Other thoughts?
2.
2 minutes?
Yeah, that would
Add 3.
Right. So we're going to take however long that check was, that time we took from the players while they're sitting there awkwardly trying to make conversation at a very tense, competitive event. Let's say it was 6 minutes. We're going to add another 3 minutes to that. Why do we add the 3 minutes?
Shuffle in other pre-game procedure.
We're sorting these decks. So we're going to give them their time back, which is fair. But we're also going to give them an additional 3 minutes to sufficiently randomize their decks. If we performed what's called a mid-round check, we've caught them between game one and 2, or possibly between game 2 and 3. Sideboarding may have taken place. We're also going to encourage them to double check that their sideboard selections are still intact. Randomize those cards. All right. So I will keep you guys on a timer, and I will ask you to shuffle along in numeric order when we're done. But that being said, you've got 9 minutes on the clock. Fire away.
Okay.
It's
So,
50 bad.
Oh,
One, two, we copy the draft portion of these that I was already going
okay. Well, you'll notice this.
So that means we have
how about those guys?
But it's
Also,
been a while.
They're like big.
That's why I
that
draft.
We're not like.
Well,
One, two pieces.
what the normal.
I believe that that's the draft.
So, the normal
should have
procedure
25.
here is that, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So the normal procedure here is that if there's cards in the box that, you know, they could be putting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yet.
I'm gonna have a real long
Something that
extension
popped out to me
to talk
right
with
away.
these players.
Look at the color of the sleeves.
That doesn't make sense. What,
Numbers now.
Look at some of the contents of
Right.
it. Yeah. So it's something to always be aware of when you're checking is what is the color of the sleeves?
These cards will
Because
Do they run the risk of? They should be bigger. Super dark green,
Because-
likely, yeah.
is that a magic card?
Yeah.
Is it a magic back? No, but we can tell.
Magic back.
So always be aware of where we're at, first of all.
So,
Are we
try to sort
monitoring
of
senior position of the
It's likely to be something
a lot of people like
Yeah,
to
sure.
the creature is just land.
in a situation like this, since I've
Also
already
valid.
determined, hey,
I like to,
this is a problem.
if I do this format better, I would feel more
It's a little bit easier to
So you
get
can
that
Scott's
second
bulk
part.
credits.
Yeah,
They're
it's
almost
like,
together.
it's like what is all of this? This is like a bad deck, or like a decent deck. It's like a cracker box. Good deck, but bad.
Hey, this is actually
Assassin fraction.
Yes.
Writer names, say 60
Your deck's
cards.
bad. I would like you to leave my event or
Like 60
or
whatever number we found.
In 3 days, eventually go build a
Hey,
better
go
deck.
check my math. Make sure I can count.
Everybody come back
Yeah,
later.
yeah, here's a pen other than the colors the player used, so it's.
Yeah. I was saying for sealed ones, we're
I'm just gonna DQ you right now, just save you
constructed
time.
items, we have better sorting. But the cards are gonna do all of this.
man, Alex Smith has really screwed this format. This is true.
That's how you got. That's why you got this. This is dismal. I don't know what I did to you. What I did to you, Scott, to make you hand me this. I must have offended you or your family.
Oh no, you just sat in the right spot.
Feels shame.
So, another one of these for the total selection.
The other thing I do while I'm doing it is I
We are
go through this and like build a pile. Also, don't let players see your sealed cards.
Probably, yeah, that's usually good. Skill also in that box.
Just don't let them see you doing it.
Yeah, especially the legacy players. They're really like, they're
I
the
take
ones that-
exception to
Yeah.
how you just haphazardly wrote down
We're
random
shuffling like
cards.
crazy. Gotta make sure you
Like
shuffle
the
well.
horse is in the middle.
Yeah. So cards that are not set.
It's annoying.
Not formatted and
If I can hear you shuffling it,
So
you're doing
high.
it wrong. If I can hear the cards,
At least it's like.
you need to put them down and walk away from the cards.
That is the good part. Only good part.
Yeah, that's about
You
it.
may have 42.
lands.
If this is draft, you should have 45. I count
lands.
42 now.
Yeah, jackpot on this one.
Did we?
Oh, yeah, there's so much.
I don't know anything about this. and I feel like it's really bad. So I know I did count the sideboards at 16, but maybe that's
All kinds of things you don't.
or 59. And then I didn't check.
How many islands? Six. How many are? Six.
Not even are these, not only are these trashy, they're also terrible choice. You're gone. Like, why, what is this?
Did you check the rest of this? Did you check the?
It's not like they were
My
like.
Amazon search history is now really bad.
I've had it.
Checks out. Checks out.
You poor Sam.
Is it going for the team? Oh, it's like things you might write.
Oh, right. Oh, this is why, of course, I think he's screwing everything up.
I agree.
So I'm used to having 15 cards in a pack.
Exactly how I would have,
Sometimes.
man, can I know that we don't give Marcellus ones. I feel like triple wins. You should definitely just DQ. Yeah. Take their deck back to them, burn their list.
So many things. This is causing me issues.
Yeah, is it offending you?
What?
I'm offended.
Is that a problem?
Okay.
So where you at?
Yeah, no, this is pretty terrible because I don't know any of these guys.
I would.
What if she like finds like
So this is tricky. Knowing all the cards is so especially deck checking. Just like,
Right.
It makes it my CMC sort of or any sort of especially. You have to know what pile you're looking for. So you have to know the cards. At least it's one of its defining characteristics.
Yeah.
So it's like
modern, yeah, I
just like
Find your
weird.
name is without you
Last
just.
Explorer's Puzzle. It's just like.
So that's an issue.
I know it's very back to hard.
Is that an issue?
Little planeswalker.
Yeah.
See, legendary planeswalker.
This thing is just.
Yes. I want to puzzle not play Walker.
Something.
I didn't start my timer with you.
We already talked about this.
Okay.
You guys feel like you and your partner have identified all the issues. Go ahead and flip your scenario over. There's a list of items you may have found in that check.
Sorry, I'm not looking at.
I'm not seeing any more speech. Right. So they two names. They would have sideboarded presented to start, which means their sideboard would be.
So, yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna let you lay out everything.
Okay.
I think that
I feel as long as they're
These are the issues that I
consistent.
found. And I got that stuff.
I think those cards are These are all the same.
There's double difference.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I know that this was wrong.
What do you do about the list?
this,
Having a second deck is
yeah, that's also one mode. And then,
You can't run those in there? Why not?
because,
You like charge, right?
because they are,
First thing we do is verify the deck.
if you were sitting down, this game is all inclusive.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you sat down across
Deck
from
list
somebody
is
who was
then modified.
So at this point,
Bomb,
the
right?
actual deck list itself.
It's gonna be a deck list.
Got about a minute left,
This
guys.
one seems fine.
And the next one is the,
Kind of wet, I guess.
what is the issue there? Or is there?
Yeah. A set of wavy cards and one that are not wavy.
Yeah, I guess.
But it
Even though
looks
they're
like, yeah.
flipped around at the back, they're still,
Registered.
as we understand them.
Yep.
We've all got it, there's only two lists in the main deck. These are elsewhere in
yeah,
there. They're still.
What's the solution to that?
For what's the sideboard?
Okay.
Yeah, like what we would do.
So
Yeah.
essentially they have 4 cards.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that. I
From this deck.
So,
But there's only 2 of them.
player presenting 59 cards.
Mhm.
We actually would do this fix at afternoon as well. We can do.
That's fine.
Having,
Well, we've had instances. of
Isn't it supposed to be
people
hard one or
not
the other?
using the standard, or we actually replace it with the basic.
like, if
one.
you're gonna have,
Same deal. You do the same thing.
Yeah.
just find out.
Okay, what about the sideboard being over?
It never comes up. Literally never comes up. So yeah, it's fine. I agree with that. It's fine. Because they are just representing.
Clearly.
They have to be in different.
So by having it there animated this way, they're showing that when I got this, this is the part I was representing.
And then the last one is obviously.
Don't issue to the game, also the issue is both at the same time.
Would you
Yeah.
ready to shoot that one?
You always will correct the that list to reflect the
And
information.
what is this?
You do that.
Now, wouldn't you actually, you do the second desk check, gotcha. Okay.
If you can
I didn't
identify
know
what these
because
cards are.
as
Yeah.
they were.
All right, you guys can return those decks to the configuration in which you found them, randomize them so they're not sorted for the next group that sits down at the table, put them back in their deck boxes, and then shuffle on down the line. Guys, at the end, you'll rotate down to number 1.
You would kind. How did you come across? What led you to that?
Yeah, our modern
Just like-
thing, we check that too. Just throw random 60 cards in there.
The reason for
Shifting down once.
the reason for the modifier is some cards in that.
We'll go to scenario.
Right.
We're doing barely.
Oh, geez. Going up.
This way.
This one.
Yes, that would be.
All right, fine.
Yeah, they get into it.
Limited.
I know. I'm a bad person.
Yeah, there's
I avoid working limited events.
Tokens.
We're going this way, right?
Yeah.
Because why would I want to put myself in there?
Your deck check changes that game. Modern format.
Right.
Start of round
So-
4.
All right, guys. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and crack in.
Okay.
This is very much a Tron deck in a standard format cube.
It does not.
Okay. What if we can't figure out how to open up their deck box?
That's a whole nother issue.
What if I open the deck box and there's a slice of pizza?
Okay, you can just keep tooting that horn over there.
Actually,
Someone has, where do you even find these? Someone has a weird order history.
I looked at my stuff for my memories for this year on Facebook, and one of the ones was a player who got an ice cream cone between rounds
I was there.
and had no place to put it, and so put it in his deck box during the game.
Did he then ask for a smell?
What's that? Oh yeah.
He just ate it. This was at a GP.
Well, I mean, those ice creams cost like $10 a pound.
Stadium pricing. You know, you're stuck in there. You got to pay what they have.
Louisville Convention Center has
It was at Louisville, like 3 years ago.
those ice creams are
The
very
last
nice,
GP.
but they're very expensive.
Fancy sleeves, man. My commander
Milwaukee also had
never, ever.
Maybe it was
ever.
Madison. One of those two has like an ice cream place in the convention center.
That's pretty sweet.
Ice cream.
Deck checking version.
Should we be putting, because you can actually see
Uh-huh.
the difference.
That's a, very much an issue. That's going to be considered marked cards.
Gotcha.
And marked cards, when you
Everything's one up, so you
when there's a pattern to it,
Mhm.
and in this
There's
case,
no
pretty
point in
much
sorting
everything
right
tell
now.
what card it is.
Yeah.
That is a reasonable
It's pretty much
opportunity
like
for
a
advantage.
60 card version.
This is why they offer checklist cards.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Another one, same one, but. Oh, here's another one. And that's a bunch of them.
Mhm.
But it would all check up with the same one, right?
Yeah, you just. I don't know if I've really found doubles.
Just up with pink cards versus with the.
Yeah, so
Is that an issue too?
I would think so, yeah. And I think we understand what you're trying to do.
Shuffle them in.
But yeah, they could just put it in their deck.
Yeah,
They have more legal cards in their deck box than is allowed.
gotcha. So that's one.
Unless they present them,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I don't think there's any way you could really do that. I think you would just need to separate.
Make sure you read this.
One of these is gonna be a count wrong. What's on the list?
Think so?
Yeah, I think one of these, I don't know which one, maybe not us right now, but it will have that.
Seems reasonable. Alright, well, here's all of it's trying to get me. Do this the old fashioned way.
With powder muskets.
Powder musket would be a more effective way of sorting this one I'm about to do, yes. Dead players can't hit decks.
That's a very good.
Dead players can't have.
It's
It's hardcore.
Not familiar with that particular page of the IPG.
That's my friend's favorite counterspell is common
Section
spell because
187.
dead players can't have spells in the stack.
It's not wrong.
It was pretty good. It's my favorite game. One of my favorite games of EDH. It's definitely his. In response, you're dead.
One of my favorite games of EDH is any of the ones I win.
Yeah. My favorite one's any of the ones Spencer doesn't win.
Those would be my favorite as well. Anytime
only because-
Spencer doesn't.
I'll be honest. My favorite games of EDH are the ones Tony's not playing in.
We all have that. We all know that guy.
Oh.
You gotta
that-
even
that
be even
guy.
more honest. And some of the games that I win are just hilarious.
Oh.
Because everybody regrets it.
Here's Chain
My
Dimension
biggest
Master
regret
over
in
there.
EDH is to say is when Spencer goes to me, he's like, "Hey, just don't kill me this turn. Give me one more turn,"
And then you don't kill him.
and then he wins the game on
Yep.
his turn.
Yeah, that's why he wants you to not kill him. Because
Yeah,
he's gonna win.
it's the last time that happened. Oh, we're playing EDH. It's casual. It's fun. Oh,
Yeah, casual.
Until it's not.
until you realize, whoops, I forgot who Spencer was.
I'll never forget who Spencer is.
I will say, that's the one time at the shop I've actually blatantly lied.
Yes. He doesn't lie. He did to me. That was straight.
Those with
I won't
cards
kill you. I
and
promise.
That was a thing my friends used to say is if Jesse has cards in his hand, he's lying to you.
Yeah. I'll be names. Don't you have a presentation elsewhere?
Yeah, they're discussing.
About
Oh.
2 minutes left in the chat.
Uh-oh.
For the detrimental trigger list, Teferi is not on that, correct?
What?
The detrimental trigger list.
Oh.
I think it's
Oh.
Teferi is not on that.
Interpreter.
What's that?
This.
I'm like 90% sure because
Is
that's
that on
generally
yours?
good.
It is not.
Those are also garbage sleeves, by the
No.
way.
You like,
Snuck in.
under it says
Nope.
a normal
He was in
market.
Dominaria, so he's not there.
No.
Sweet, thank you.
No, these are just fine.
Cash.
They're me. I would not build this kind of deck.
Wait a second.
This has exactly 0 necromancers.
We got it.
Which is
Yeah, definitely. I sort by CMC and try to build this out of
Yeah, I'm just.
builds.
It's a non-opaque vision.
And then you never have to touch cards.
Unlike the
you already
last
counted.
one, there's not a reasonable amount of
1 minute left.
suggest that you could pick
About
out-
time to start checking
We
answers
don't have any
and returning those
No, no,
decks
no,
to the
so
condition in which you
no-
found them.
Exactly, so that's.
I mean, it matters, but it doesn't.
The mineral is not.
It matters, but it doesn't.
Trash.
This is
What's that?
about like we discussed.
Nope, not a
Yeah. You're not supposed to have that in there. Probably shouldn't be.
Not as good.
Marked cards on the backs.
So you didn't notice anything?
A card in here that's.
Numbers
It's not on the list. It's got to game 4.
That's the key for
Hey, they do
this.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, this is the only one that really stuck out.
So we could have found that faster if we would have counted the list of that when we got it.
Yeah.
But I don't like to do that because I think there's an error in that way. We can find it.
All right, guys. Just get those decks shuffled back up and check your answers, and then we'll be moving in just a second.
Yep, we got them.
Upgraded to game loss?
The marked cards.
Yeah.
Normally it's just a warning. But if all their rare cards have that awkward bend on the corner of their sleeve,
Is that what it is?
something like that.
Well, that's
As long as
okay.
There's a pattern.
Yeah, I have a little bit of my sleeves.
Liar, me?
Liar.
You're not a liar. We always catch you, Spencer.
I've never lied.
Ah,
I said good day, sir. Alright.
are we starting the next?
that one?
Yeah, that's great. This one wasn't
That one was.
Limited.
17 parts, I believe.
Swooped in games 1 and 2 top 8 draft portion of the event.
No, like
That's what I assumed.
What does this mean?
it like tried to like throw me out of it.
Who what?
It became sentient.
Ugh.
It became sentient. Oh, but
All right.
the reason why I approved your use of elephants. is
And we are
because
at least 40, right?
all my drafters, whenever they draft, like on Tuesdays, they just hand to me.
Can't take you anywhere, man.
Oh, you can if you want.
Yeah,
Everything to be.
go as a
That's
team.
more Scott.
Yeah, I know. Just leave behind.
And
guys,
in the
go
case
ahead.
of a limited
Crack your decks
sideboard,
open.
does not matter.
Maybe good.
Counts.
Yeah, these sleeves are transparent. That's an issue.
They're all the same on the back, right?
I would think so.
I mean, they all have the big old white dot in the middle, right? Is that an issue?
That would be a thing I would check.
Issue already.
Yeah.
It's like they marked them.
I got a commander deck that
So
runs yellow
I
sleeves.
look to see if I can see this white
straight
dot.
through
If I can
'em.
see this white dot and the deck's transparent. And then I see if I don't see that white dot.
They haven't changed.
This one's clearly a double face card.
Getting the deck like that.
Oh, that's
That
not
thing.
an issue, that's just
So why would that be?
fuzz and lint, it's attached to the sleeve. Eyelashes falling and whatnot.
Keeps giving me these.
Is anybody gonna mistake that for a magic card?
Give me sortedness by CMC instead of color like a chunk.
Is that what it is?
Or is that an issue?
At least it can be easier. I'm not gonna know the cards either way.
Is that gonna be? Is that gonna be?
They're all organized by color. So if you sort them by color, you can just go right down the columns. and-
Oh, hey, look at that, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, it's a hands-on experience.
I have never even been to an event that uses this, like, a week of this, so now, it's about 2 months that I've been doing this.
My first time at a competitive event was when I was judging it.
Well,
I don't think you'll ever catch me playing in a competitive event, but certainly judging quite a lot.
Yeah.
Take us back to you.
Yeah, like, I will play Brawl for fun, I will play,
I would try Brawl.
Brawl's pretty fun. I didn't think I would like it, and then I played it, and it actually was a little bit fun.
It sounds smoother than, it sounds like it plays smoother than it
The
did.
only thing that turns me away from Brawl is I can't afford to play formats that rotate. That's it.
that is like 6 packs, or seal the 6 packs. Obviously, it's
We don't necessarily care about basic lands too much, do we, for the counts? Because this is just number played, not actual.
Yeah, they have access to it.
So was that like a big mistake?
Basic lands down.
Oh, no, I would think I guess control myself on so much going through a picture is also there.
Which one?
I'm a sucker for
I didn't want to
big
take
powers.
have the time to.
Yeah.
Little toughness of action.
I think that's, I think once.
Bad.
This group of stats cycles out.
I am not seeing. Oh, that's a sideboard card.
I'm not gonna lie, we messed up.
I really want to flip this over and it just says nothing. Ah, there we are.
Did you find something?
No.
No?
I was just trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. I was like, there's,
This checks out normal.
that'd be great. It'd be quite the,
And we're
Quite
like
the gotcha.
looking for something.
yeah. I would do it.
Would you?
I'd be all over that.
Okay. I guess I'm not going to judge the player's ability to pick cards.
Yes, excellent. That is a good thing to keep in mind.
Wrong. Wrong.
Judge them.
Judge.
Just start.
That's why we're called
No,
judges,
both.
right?
Do both. Penalize players. They have it coming.
ABC always be penalized.
Always.
ABC.
DQ all of the witnesses, then there can't be an infraction.
Wake up to 5 missed calls from John Temple. What did you do? I don't
Spencer
recall.
Cole.
Fight me.
Did we miss something?
No.
No, it's fine. That's what I said, but there was one that.
I'm there to check. Say it.
Yeah. That's pretty dirty.
It's very good.
All right, fair enough.
Clever.
Hello, bonus card.
About 2 minutes left in this check.
I'm not anywhere on the
So the way I usually preserve the sideboard, and I did that, you know,
Yeah.
counting something with the sideboard.
Yeah.
Is I set the sideboard kind of like flayed out on the
Gotcha.
side, and then as I'm doing a deck check, if I get something, I'm just like, well, this is something that I'm like, I look at the sideboard, and if the sideboard doesn't work,
Yeah.
and go pile. But if I
Gotcha,
get the sideboard
gotcha,
pile,
gotcha.
and that way I can keep track.
These ones are
Work my
the
way down.
preferred methodology. Oh, really?
And then I work my way through.
To have them in a
Before
separate
the
sleeve.
sideboard, the same way I want it.
Oh, to present them to. Yeah, and to like have the checklist cards in the deck.
Well,
and then
it's
have
just
this.
funny because it's like,
How many deck checks should happen?
Because
At a
instead of having
standard,
like
a regular event, or competitive event.
Because like at regular,
This
nothing.
Yeah,
this
because
card
competitive
is literally
event, you
a
would just,
card that is not.
it's recommended to get 10%.
literally.
Because this is a meld.
That could be a lot.
Until this
It could
is
be a
not
lot.
a
It's
card
usually really
this is.
Yeah. Because you're not doing it by yourself.
Yep.
So it's bonus cards.
Say it's a 200-person event, that means how many
Yeah,
rounds?
that's one.
They didn't complete
So
the,
that means like 9 rounds.
Yeah.
So 20 people.
That's irrelevant. It's
Have
not.
20 people in deck checks. Each grab 2 decks, each check it, and you check once each, and you check once each round, and one deck, one check.
Okay.
what else?
Only mid round?
One mid round.
First letter.
It's like 1 and 2.
Because
Because, other.
That's
rule of
not too
thumbs-
bad.
Yeah, other rule of thumbs are if it has 37 minutes, you don't want to do a check if it's mid round. It's just, you know, you're not gonna have, you're going to be pushing a game that's already taken some time into
the every other card that's in there in order.
Yeah, which we try to avoid doing checks slower. What is? Because if it's like, you know, if it's like after.
I mean, it's nothing wrong.
Almost had a real bad situation.
So normally,
Sideboard.
you'd be
Side.
looking
I
at
did
the
a
total,
single,
and you take the total minus the
side
play.
shuffle,
and
sideboard.
each
I get it.
sideboard.
I was just saying, there's in the
As soon as I was like,
sideboard,
wait,
there's
where'd my sideboard go? Okay, they're still in
the
order.
Goblin Prospector with enough goblins in there to validate running it, or the Skirt Prospector.
All
Why
right,
wouldn't
check
you
your
run this? This
answers.
is like the
Go
best
back
goblin
to
running sort of freaking
configuration
like
and
recruiter.
and prepare to move to the next station, please.
We got, what, 2 more?
Yeah, you called that.
Come on, that makes sense.
2 more. Yeah, I see. Deck counting the last app.
I missed that one.
No.
Do you have Magic Judge Core app? Do you have an Android device? Yes, it's a fabulous application maintained by judges. Updated with
Wow.
new sets, has offline work.
Also has these things.
Oh, that used to be a different.
Oh, yeah. But you can get
that.
set FAQs.
Updated it to that. Logistically.
Comprehensive rules,
Of that I had.
IPG,
Reset.
MTR, JAR, restricted ban lists that are updated. A quick guide of penalties. Yes, quick guide is like, here's the default penalty for this quick guide. Yeah. Which is very handy. And then they quick guide for the implements of actions to like layers and the process of casting a spell.
That for
When Mistress came out,
Because I
updated
tried to
Mistress
read
policy.
like, there's a part of me
That's
like,
why I said, like,
quick cuts
it's
it's like, well, it's not gonna
types of information, standard
That's like
heads, spiel,
Yeah. That's how you
Yeah.
slice maybe like.
and reviews.
I don't just look at
Like, quick guides of like, hey, when you're taking notes, take a read.
So yeah, it's like it's infectious.
But yeah, my favorite thing is child draft time reviews.
Alright, you guys know the deal.
I
don't know what I
buttons
can say.
for
Nice.
These are heck of a already.
We are in Dominaria Limited. Draft.
I mean, apparently, I thought one thing in that thing was a problem, but apparently it's not.
What did this say?
Wow. All right. I had no idea what so I know I was right.
43.
Right?
This is a set that would not have
It's a section of my
tool
tool.
lands.
Yes, that could have been
About like
List
this.
basics.
Don't use the extra.
This is
two, start of round two.
ultimate update for draft portion.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess so.
That's a list.
Or is that? Because I mean,
So that would be one.
Why are you not?
Yeah, it's just great.
So we've heard my feedback from you guys.
Oh, is that what it
For
is?
my play nights.
I can't believe that since you won.
right, but they use things that are clearly
So-
identifiable, like,
So I don't.
that have their, it's like if I have a warrior that doesn't have vigilance, and I just say, like, I grab one of the warrior tokens, like, well, we know that these warriors don't have vigilance, but it's like almost misrepresentation. At least, it starts saying, so even though SCG uses their own tokens, they don't accurately represent what they are. Like, it might be like a cute hippo,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
mean,
an in-3D hippo.
Okay.
The art might be.
What this happened? What do I do?
But the art
Seems like a
really
pretty
part of
legit
the issue.
draft.
Who's our head judge?
Two drops.
I know, this is like I got all the dudes, this doesn't seem bad.
We're trying to figure out what.
Do you remember that day that you got started? Do you remember who was the head judge that day, Scott?
I think it was Dave.
Come on.
I think it was you.
Chronicler.
Mhm.
So many honor guard. All of this.
Sure.
It basically.
Just like,
It'd be like, hey, and
Is it-
like, and behind.
I mean, I would. I've been trying to tell everybody what this. I've been trying to tell everybody. This is clearly stated.
So this is a sideboard game, so it just needs to be in their total pool.
Got it.
Oh no! Oh no! I made that thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
that's
You made the
foolish.
So-
That's your pack one pick one is grabbing the placeholder. It's expecting mythic.
They're so good. I got
Well,
my bag.
this is a penalty, you should probably not. Well, I don't like.
I also wanted it out the
Literally,
other-
though, just
Yeah, I'm so
slide
weird.
to it, if that's what we're
That's
agreeing
awful.
on, just the fact is that, like, as the head judge, you would just, gently remind them, this technically isn't an infraction, but, like, please refrain from doing this kind of stuff.
How dare you? I know I'm an engineer.
You're not allowed.
Let me know, yeah, let me know what you've been engineering.
I work on elevators, take the steps.
Oh,
If policy doesn't restrict you from
As long as all the cards exist between the side and side.
To reinforce that policy for his. Also gives the head judge a lot of like leeway in what the head decides.
That's where I'm good at math.
As long as there's, unless he, I mean, as long as they're consistent.
Oh, wait, okay,
Yeah, so if they're
that's
gonna
fine.
do their own thing,
I
then
I was, because this is a construct problem.
Food for thought.
You got a point.
Food.
All right.
Food right after you guys got one more check-in.
Transform versus not.
Let's see if anything's marked.
Sherlock Holmes over here.
Oh, I just I screwed up on that.
Two card?
Just
It's one card and
if it's not wrong, you can't tell them what to do.
This is why I hate players that play with white sleeves.
I have cards. I have upset
So
numbers.
put another card in
Good on
this format.
What do you, I guess we're going to ask them.
Actually can.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, we can't, while it's not a penalty, and we can't, you know, there is no, you know, it's
There
not
are cards that are
you can,
considered to be, when it's a legendary creature,
couldn't ask them, you know,
and that's
politely, like, in the future to refrain from
And the legendary
cards
creature.
that are,
You don't have to
just
add
like,
yeah, as long as it's the only
related to
legendary
character. Your deck is more
in that format. They didn't get rid of it. It's a legendary creature exception.
Things that I can touch that planes every time.
Yeah,
Because it is
okay.
on the card.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Thanks, Dad. I'm gonna keep saying.
He was trying to
stop
explain
me.
it to me.
Find the Nick.
And
It's like, yeah, that's right there. Staring at me.
you can just shortcut the name correct.
Coincidentally.
We're not gonna use a penalty.
But we are gonna get it to sync out.
We have one extra sleep, so I'm curious about that.
In the format or not?
That's
Gotcha.
If there's a shadow of doubt in your mind.
Separated. Do that and nowadays, like, so they were like. you have these
So,
obvious
the player
zombie
registers
decks.
41 cards. In game 2, they're at 40
Oh,
cards.
the non-zombie.
They registered 40.
Yes, it's
They register 41. Going into game 2, they have 40 cards. Doesn't matter if they require one.
Because there's more than one. I feel like running based on the deck. Total. One day.
We go to game 2.
You know, it's not in mind, it's called-
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
As long as it's consistent across.
And it's,
Oh, the same one, just look the same way.
Right?
I mean, yes, but that's not gonna satisfy.
Okay, this is very common.
All right, so you found something in the sideboard, right?
Yes.
We should have 43.
One of these.
We should have 43 cards.
Not including like,
Correct. I'm only getting
Yeah.
Jesse is.
How dare you.
they have less cards.
14 cards in the actual sideboard.
Don't have one. Hey Scott,
Yeah.
Card hits, I
need to update your link to land for your decks. Find the Nick.
Those garbage, oh, that happens.
It was like,
So, but good catch.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
it's got
this-
about a minute left. Go ahead and wrap up your checks, check your answers. Make sure to return those decks to the configuration you found them in, please. Yeah, so, good catch, yes. That would have been.
No, it's not the snake, it's the card. The,
having.
Well, we did keep it.
Yeah, you found, that's the biggest infraction.
I'm already saying, no, it's not. It's not. Yeah,
14 times. There may be one more if there's a
because it's
foil.
45 minus 1.
Something, yeah. That makes sense. Might be off one or two.
And 19's gonna have weird numbers because the Chinese cards are draftable.
You serious?
Because of the way the printing happens, that's not either a basic one.
So, yeah, I get what that, so, one short
So in order to not be
sideboard,
manipulated.
what do you do in this case when the sideboard?
It's just whatever's in that slot. Because it could be anything.
You look for the missing card or just say, hey,
I mean, to be fair, the checklist card has a better value than the base hand.
That's fair, yeah. Still fair.
I'll take a pack with the checklist card before basic land.
I agree.
Tokens do not have
Because
cards back.
come when M19 is no longer printed, that checklist card will have a non-zero amount of value. That land will not.
9 mounts.
That's what I don't get, like.
I'll pay you to swing my like.
Yep.
Says it goes.
That's the official like way to fix that.
I said good.
Yes, 'cause that's interesting. I've never heard of that.
Let's say root cause. We're just going to-
These are some good
Root cause is all for the most.
I just think it's cool that you can move cards from the bottom of the list until you get.
Oh, there's our flipping it thing going on.
Yeah, that's really cool.
They're fun that way.
So you.
I really did. I did real good apparently.
That's, I mean, it's the most
Excited.
fair way to do it.
Oh, is you on that?
That's me on the next one.
Construction.
I read
Unless you also know.
Other than bumping you.
Well, we were kind of right. We just didn't see children.
All right, guys, let's get ready to slide down to our last check. We'll have a brief discussion and we'll break for lunch.
The sooner I get DQ from that, the sooner I have an excuse to never go to a match.
There you go.
Here's another reason.
Judge contact, whatever.
I would like to thank you myself.
David, we've
I hate
been wearing
everything about this
skirts
stuff.
sitting in piles.
How do
Really?
All right, it's YouTube.
I'll get that. Just in case you wanted to carry around a bunch of other magic.
Oh, we go all the way down the
Other
hall.
magic decks.
One of the starters. You like magic decks?
Oh, I didn't do anything.
I was playing in the class
Where
on
deck you check. Swoop this deck at the start.
Oh, man.
Get another deck.
Have some cards, man.
Wow.
All right, you guys got about 8 minutes or so let's get to it.
Oh my god.
Representing over here. Look at this man.
Oh,
Look at that. Look at that. Represent. Actually, this is. You're actually not allowed to look at this because this is the deck I play. Don't look at it.
Oh, the lands? It's amazing. I don't know the decks.
So, you don't want to do that.
First and foremost.
Man, I'm a monster.
Go there.
I've always wanted to have a hissing
Also-
quagmire.
Cool. Scott. Neil.
Thanks, Scott.
Oh, what happened?
Edit
This
F.
is my hissing quagmire,
Cards
right?
are double.
It's got my name on the list, got my box.
You don't want to do both. You don't want to do both. You want to do this universal across the board.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So like, if you have opaque enough space where you can play the double face card, then
Job
play the double face
done.
card, that's fine.
This is the guy in the Chaos Draft who opens the foil cervical. Done now.
I would like to leave.
Also,
Why would you just drag
I don't know. I don't even know if Scott remembers that he told me to do this, and it stuck with me.
What's that?
What this one? You
There's like 9 things wrong with
I don't know, my
that.
deck
Right.
was really cool.
It's when we were playing F and M, I had 2 Fs and checklist cards, and or no, it was Fs and I didn't have checklist card for it. It was something else I did, and you explained to me that like if you're going to do one, you have to do it uniformly. You can't do some checklist cards and some not checklist cards.
For a single card. So that has since changed a
Oh.
bit. So if you have, say, like Avison, Flip Angel, and Chase Prince Prodigy, you can run all the physical copies of Chase and all the checklist cards of Avison. But you can't run 2 checklist Avison and 2 checklist or 2 actual Avison for your 4. Yeah. So it used to be all or none. So now it's just all or none by card.
By card.
Travel
Okay.
taxes. You know, buy them.
There you go.
That's how they do.
You're right.
He's supposed to trick me, not you.
We trick each other.
Yes.
That's how we work.
Yeah, exactly. I helped him get here. I tricked him. I tricked him into becoming a judge. That's how it happens.
Yes.
Power.
That's what they don't tell you.
Unwanted things about that.
What they don't tell you is he actually owes you one now.
Oh my god. I am the worst.
I know, right?
Sideboard is.
Also, that deck is only.
Oh, okay.
You're horrible. This other blade can't be blocked. Don't. You don't even know.
Also, that's
I
a
know.
problem too.
Clearly don't because you think it's bad.
Turns into
You know what my
this.
favorite part of this is?
So
play.
If you're going to do this, put the checklist because you don't have to flip it
This is
over.
the deck. I'm playing cards that aren't my politics.
That's why I said, your math's so good.
It's not math, it's reading.
But yes, I do
Yeah.
agree with you that.
I can maths.
That's how hardcore he is, man. Don't you know? He's so good. He causes cards to come. He doesn't.
Can't even read.
He didn't even exist to come into existence. He's played cards that aren't even in his deck. That's how hardcore it is.
Yeah, man. I thought this card was so good, I just pulled that out of my backpack.
I want to win.
Thank
It's
you.
$20 in store credit. Come
Yeah,
on.
what the hell? It's $20 in store credit, man. Stakes are high.
Why haven't you scooped yet? Like this in Modern. You should probably just go home.
Those are the cards you have, and you really want to play with your friends. Your friends are like, come on.
How do you have friends if you're playing this thing?
That's bad friends that are giving you bad advice. Like sometimes that come out and play with us is better. Like maybe next time, but.
I feel really
Maybe
good.
next
Cool.
week.
Views.
You gotta play very much.
Just pump that prize pool. I really appreciate it.
Just don't split at every round of the split offer or the restructure.
So now we gotta dig through this massive crap. Figure out which these other colors.
Now we have to see.
It's all in five.
It's not big three, it's all on the top, there's a bunch of lands.
Gotcha.
Hopefully.
Unless Spencer decided to troll us hardcore and says,
It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get him.
Shuffle this sideboard and giant land station
Okay.
This is getting good.
He has 15 cards in.
fooled you.
Take off your judge shirt and walk away.
Correct.
So you have your jet shake and walk away.
Tokens are
I like
seen,
that
but they're in a
solution.
different color. These are in a different color, which should be fine. That's technically not bad. The bad thing is that he's outside the game. Did not check those cards. And the back. See through them. Just look at them.
Doesn't count on these.
Like, these sideboards fine. And these things can legally be here.
But
But
Squatters rights.
these aren't great, but they're also,
not in.
are any of them in? Are they any of the things?
I don't think it doesn't matter. If it's in draft, it doesn't matter.
Don't, no,
That's the question.
on Saturday, I'm not gonna do deck checks unless someone's watching me do it, because I'm just gonna, they're gonna be cards everywhere.
Space off.
Oh, I was supposed to be doing something, I forgot.
20 minutes into the round.
My deck back.
Oh god. Damage
Oh,
to my
Yeah, this
event.
guy-
oh no. I've made a grave error.
Alright guys, we're gonna try to turn this one over quickly so we have a few minutes to chat at the end. About a minute left.
Okay.
What? What, chat?
I like, again, this is also fine. It's just like everything I've done here is just, it's fine, but it's just shitty.
Makes your life hard, but it's bad. Makes your life hard, but it's bad.
Jesse has a lot of issues.
This is great, yeah, but none of them were actually
Jesse has a lot of issues that we just want to look at and be like, oh, really?
just making you like really
Jesse,
bad.
you're a judge. Come on.
I'm gonna shuffle this sideboard too. Not with the lions, not with the lions.
Yes, another group does have to come in for you and do this, so.
Should I be keeping these colors sorted?
Alright guys, go ahead and check the solutions for your particular scenario. Get those decks put up and we'll chat for just a minute before food gets here.
I think it's already lost.
Which one is the more severe?
I like set my eating schedule, so like 101. Like, yeah, we're gonna push it back because Brian ran.
So if you
That don't
have a
go.
card in your deck,
Ah!
and you forget to add it to
Still mad.
the
So,
Then what happens?
What is this? We have
in
So
deck.
there
There
was
no
60
infraction.
listed.
None.
However, Warren sleep.
What is
What do we do for 59?
Warren sleeves.
The penalties for having an extra card in your deck. It says verify with the player that the deck is what they intend to play.
alright guys, how'd that feel?
Let's see it. That was good.
Yeah, it felt okay. Like there was some kind of like
What you saw was a broad array of common issues you'll run across doing deck building.
Personally,
Scenario one here, we had the Rishkar. You know, is that okay? Yeah, like if you write Jace in Modern, not okay because there's more than one Jace. The question was asked by Steve, if there's multiple errors, what are we doing? Are we doing is that an infraction for each, penalty for each? So when we, stop it. So when we have multiple infractions stemming from the same root cause, we're either going to just issue the infraction and penalty for the root cause or the more severe infraction. Like, oh, he had marked cards and then hit his opponent. Well, the root cause was the argument started over marked cards, but you're getting DQ'd for aggressive behavior. This one over here, we had a patterned marked cards. Probably you're going home. This is one that I've actually run across at an event. Wow. It's real. It happens. Come back to this one. Just advise players to use checklist cards. It prevents the can you not see through sleeves. There's just something about the lighting in halls that Grand Prix happen to take place in that you're gonna see the back face of a double face card through a sleeve, unless it's an eclipse or a black. But just as good practice, just use the checklist cards. Sometimes things are okay. Most of the time things are okay. Let's talk about policy and some sexy tokens. Is there anything in the rules that say this is an infraction?
It does say something about making sure you're like the content, like you're not. Wizards does make a statement about like making sure your playmat is not offensive.
Right. So Magic is for all ages, you know, and it's supposed to be a family-friendly environment. So those on their face, there's no exposed nudity. There's nothing along that line. So on its face, it's not actually an infraction or a violation of policy. However, if somebody comes into my event with those, and they haven't used them yet, but I catch them in a deck check, I'm going to want to talk to that player. And I'm going to explain what I've just said about this being a family-friendly environment. We don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. And it doesn't just have to be a female player or a female spectator. If I'm sitting across from somebody and they pull those out, I'm going to be pretty upset about that objectification of women. So I'm going to explain this to the player and strongly encourage that those cards stay in their deck box for the remainder of the event for those reasons. It could become an issue. It could make for a very uncomfortable situation. And unfortunately, if it does become an uncomfortable situation, you probably won't even hear about it. Any person or people that are offended by it they're gonna go and they're not gonna come back. So I would give the guidance. And if the player chooses to use them anyway, then we have a different discussion. Hello, friend. I'm offended. Come talk to me again. And then it's going to be, then we can get into, but be careful, because then we're talking, oh, you didn't listen to what the judge asked you to do. And I didn't say don't use them, because there's no policy that says don't use them. It would be a bad idea if you were to use them. Use them anyway. Okay, you've just created an uncomfortable situation in my event. Now we have to have a more serious discussion about this. So, knowing the policy is good. Knowing the philosophy behind the policy in this particular case is what's going to serve you best. We're trying to create that family-friendly environment. We want an environment that's safe from people feeling awkward or uncomfortable about objectifying women. So, that's just one example. It doesn't have to be specifically that. It could be graphic language, something like that. Some sound advice ahead of time probably will diffuse that before it ever blows up. Yes?
Is there any kind of policy rule about, because Cody and I were talking about on Star City streams, whenever somebody has a token, they represent it with their token. Is there a rule that if the token, that you have to make an accurate representation? Because those, sometimes, there was a token deck in Standard for a while, and you would be making all kinds of tokens. And at that point, the simple sideboard card face down with dice on it
no longer suffices to distinguish between them. Is there a policy in place where it is strongly encouraged that you use the correct token to accurately portray the board state?
Tokens aren't required. What is required is that both players have a clear understanding of what is what on the battlefield.
Okay.
So as long as both players understand what they're looking at, that is sufficient.
So if one player like requests the other player, like it's getting muddy, like some of
We
these
do
are
have 3
choo-choo,
different
some of
kinds
these are vigilant.
Yeah. So let's distinguish them somehow. And it would be either up to them to agree on what's mutually agreeable to distinguish them, or the judge is the arbiter. He's the neutral. He or she is the neutral person there to say, this is how we're doing it. You two can't decide. This is what I decide. Go. Any other questions? If you think of anything, any more questions about scenarios you saw, just come find me.
Sorry,
But
Scott.
You're good. Get the hell out of here and get some pizza. Thank you guys for your patience.